So
a lot of people are hung up on this exclusive content thing, right? But you have to understand that Satya doesn't think about exclusive content in the same way that a normal person would. When he's saying exclusive content, he means exclusive to the Microsoft ecosystem, which in their mind means every platform where Microsoft stuff exists. So like that includes PlayStation in Satya's brain. So I don't think people are really hanging on that. But that just basically means like we're gonna make the content exclusively and not just publish the content. They ain't slowing down or stopping on this latitude stuff until they come out in a business thing and there's actual like.
Well, how would you even like? Some people just want a clarification of like what is and what isn't. You know, and I think one of the things
I would love that as well, but they won't do it.
Yeah,
I think Microsoft they're still going to have exclusive games purely based on the virtue that some developers, will be like, they won't factor PlayStation into the business model. But I don't think they're ever going to put a hard line on like there was these rumors that Halo's got a hard line under it now, or Gears of War's got a hard line under it now. I don't think we're in that universe yet, where it's like these games have a hard line under them. At least I've not seen any evidence that that they've drawn a red line around Forza and whatever. In fact, I heard like Forza was something that they were heavily exploring because they compete with Gran Turismo.
Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, we have some more Fallout salt in regards to Satya Nadella's latest comments in regards to Xbox as a platform, especially in regards to their first-party titles heading to competing platforms. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is get right to the salt, of course, but before we get to the theme of the video in regards to Satya's comments, real quick I want to point out a Jez comment on social media here in regards to port begging at its finest. Let's take a look here. As you can see in the beginning, he's great on all of his takes, of course. No, Xbox isn't porting its console exclusives to PlayStation. It's just hard copium for fanboys. And of course, we know the fallout of that and him kind of backtracking and saying he was just caught up in the moment and all that. But as we continue here, again, the port begging aspect here. By the way, Helldivers 2 on Xbox would blow up like Sea of Thieves on PlayStation blew up. Pause. Okay. No, it wouldn't. That's not guaranteed. And if it's not on Game Pass, maybe if it was on Game Pass. Will it have some success on Xbox because of the notoriety behind it? Maybe to a point. But to say it's going to blow up like Sea of Thieves did on PlayStation, no, PlayStation's a different beast because folks buy those games and they interpret those games to those sales, and they have the player base to kind of back that up, where Xbox does not have that notoriety to it. They have been conditioned, as we talk time and time again, about Game Pass. If it's not on Game Pass, that's going to be a big slice right there of non-players playing that game. And again, if it's not, you're not going to have the bigger turnout. So again, just a horrible take. So unpause here. I don't think it would harm PlayStation even slightly to put Helldivers 2 on Xbox, but it would be a big boost for the game studio and Sony too. Now, this portion I slightly agree with, right?
What?
It wouldn't harm PlayStation too much. Would it to a point of the fan base and the notoriety, again, we're going to use that word again, in regards to what makes PlayStation's ecosystem special as a console, is that it does have exclusives, the same thing that makes Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo ecosystem, have that nuanced feeling in regards to exclusives. You pay for what you get, what you get out of that ecosystem, and you feel good about it as a consumer, and you investing your time and money into there. Those naysayers that don't like exclusives and this, that, and the other, we touch base on this. They're never going to agree with it because they want them everywhere. It just doesn't make sense, at least at any point in time in the near future, or quite a few years in the future. It's going to be a very long time before we ever see exclusives truly go away, and even then you're going to see timed content. But that being said, again, if this isn't port begging at its finest, please still give us something. Even though Xbox has Stalker 2 to look forward to, Indiana Jones, I guess Flight Simulator 2024, if you're a huge fan of that. Put me to sleep, give me the GTS from CM Punk. No thank you. But this is, of course, port begging at its finest. But let's continue on. Now, for context, I want to pull this up because we're going to go over those Satya comments, right? So as we're going through here, we have the headline where he talked about what's going on here. So more Xbox games reportedly coming to PlayStation 5 as part of Microsoft's Latitude project. It claims Microsoft wants a no red line policy for which games could release for Sony's console. Again, we're getting much more first-party content from Xbox. Whether this be Halo or Gears or Forza yet, we'll have to wait and see. Again, that's the triad of what's going to be happening, and that's going to open the floodgates even more, if you will. And then, of course, as we can see here, this is the synopsis, right? We are bringing great games to more people on devices. With our acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, which closed October 2023, we've added hundreds of millions of players to our ecosystem. We now have 20 franchises that have generated over $1 billion in lifetime revenue, from Candy Crush, yes, you bought that success, Diablo, you bought the success, and Halo to Warcraft, you bought the success, Elder Scrolls, you bought the success, and Gears of War. And with Xbox Cloud Gaming, we continue to innovate to offer players more ways to experience the games they love, where, when, and how they want. Finally, we brought 4 of our fan favorite titles to Nintendo Switch and Sony PlayStation for the first time as we continue to extend our content to new platforms. Take that highlighted segment there, and that's where you get all that weight there. Now, there's your context. Now let's have some fun with everything here. Now people start losing their mind, living in that delusional world. Let's take Jacob for instance here, right? Continue to extend our content to new platforms. Doesn't sound like they're hitting pause on anything, eh? And then, of course, Tom Warren said, who said they were pausing Project Latitude? Exactly. If it's coming from Tom Warren and him kind of backing that up, that's the truth. Because there was just for context purposes as well, there was a slight rumor that they were pausing Project Latitude because the fan base was a little upset. Money doesn't care about your feelings. Satya Nadella, especially with his latest bonus earnings, doesn't care about your feelings, and neither does his bank account. Keep that in mind. No CEOs does, whether that's on PlayStation or Nintendo's side. I promise you that. But let's keep the train rolling here. So, I love Jez's follow-up comment later on. Phil is the only thing stopping Satya from turning Xbox into a third-party publisher, in my opinion. No, it's not. Or no, he's not, if you will. Phil has had the opportunity to do so many things, turn things around. Phil is also a problem piece within that Xbox company and as an ecosystem as well. He's made so many wrong decisions. He's not been able to follow up as a true leader. And I hate to say this because I don't have anything against him as a person, obviously, and I don't think anybody else should either. But I think as an Xbox figurehead, I don't think he's done the right thing from day one to current time now. So, Jez, no, it's not Phil is the only thing stopping Satya. Satya is probably like, we want to make more money at the company and we want to continue this venture. If that means we're third party and putting our games on more platforms, it doesn't matter. Again, money doesn't care about fans' feelings. If they're getting that implemented money and that revenue coming, doesn't matter if it's from Xbox fans, it can be from Nintendo or PlayStation fans that'll, of course, support his bonuses yearly, I guess. But let's keep going because we have the car crier risk it for the biscuit here with his take, of course. I'm not sure Satya Nadella understands, and of course he tags them, the console business or platform business. Windows is a monopoly. It's a whole different ballgame when your competitors got a stranglehold on the market. If Gears, Halo, Fable, and Forza go over there, there's no need to own an Xbox. I'll go to PC and it'll be Steam I use and Discord. All my friends will still be there. When the entire industry is telling you it's a mistake, including your existing customers, the hubris you'd need to ignore that is comprehensible. I hope Phil wins this battle. Again, they think Phil is going to change something. He hasn't changed anything from day one. The most he did is say, yeah, we're going to compete, by buying more publishers and acquisitions and devs and this and that. That's what he promised to do. That's what he did. But unfortunately, he lost in translation somewhere how to compete appropriately, and he put all his eggs in one basket for Game Pass, which you guys hold to an iron throne, and think that that's going to be the end-all be-all, which that's why you're in the position you're in. So again, Phil isn't going to do anything. Daddy Nutella, or Nutella, I love Nutella, but Satya Nadella is the end-all be-all in this matter. Phil can talk, whine, do whatever he wants to. If you feel he's even going to do that, which he's not, Satya is probably like, Phil, shut up. This is what we're doing. I signed your checks. Shut up. And Phil's like, you're right, Daddy. You're right, Daddy Satya. I'll just do that. Again, these CEOs, these bosses, these companies, any company, 9.9 times out of 10 does not care about your feelings. They just don't. Wrap that around the brain and understand you can whine and complain all you want. The money's not going anywhere because of some upset Xbox fans are upset about exclusivity losses. Phil did it. Satya did it. Game Pass did it. The fan base of Xbox did it by not supporting and buying games. You also put your eggs in one basket by supporting nothing but Game Pass for the most part. Simple as that. But let's continue on. Go cry in your car about it. Hopefully we get another video about that. Now, Jez, of course, he has a quick comment and commenting about it, stating the Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella addressed the shareholders today to discuss Xbox gaming, blah, 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 implying all this stuff. But what I'm going to focus on is the responses, right? So as we go through here, Phil Spencer, Phil the cuck here. United States of America needs to get rid of these people. I'm not even going to say what he's saying there with the filthy part. Are the reason every tech company became worse. I mean, that's just an awful sentence and an awful thing to say, and untrue, obviously. They became CEO and everything starts to become the worst nightmare. Look, YouTube since this filthy... Yeah, you can read that part. I'm not even saying that. No ad blocker anymore. So somebody's super upset, super racist, all this stuff, just an awful human being. That dude would not be welcome in any gaming community or any community in general, I would think. Pretty horrible. Awful thing to say. Obviously very upset with the fact that he wants his brand to be the best. But again, all the reasons I stated just before this is the reason they're in the situation now. But it's just really bad, really sad to see. So talk about salt to the nth degree. That's what you have right there. Now, as we continue on here, Chipotle Pro here, he said new platforms, not PlayStation, with the hand smack emoji, right? See the delusion here that we go over so often? What else can it be? Google Stadia? Exactly. What other new platforms? Doesn't mean PlayStation. He's just gonna say Nintendo only now going forward. Indiana Jones was going to be a Nintendo Switch or a Nintendo Switch 2 game only, where we obviously know that's coming to PlayStation, but the play on words and just them not admitting the truth to themselves, this is what's happening. You can be upset about it all you want. Just like I have people in the comment section of these videos upset and calling everything out as I choke on my own spit here in regards to bringing up Concord and this and that has nothing to do with the situation that Xbox is in. Plain and simple. Pretty sad to see the delusion. They need some therapy, I think, in my very least opinion here. But as we continue to go on here, of course, Windows Central, which is, home to Jez Corden as well, and they continue to state what they state. But again, we're focusing on the responses here. Sounds like Microsoft needs a new CEO. What's a CEO to do, Danny Jenkins? What is a CEO meant to do for a company? Is it maybe to make them successful, to bring in money no matter what, and to make sure the future looks bright for that company and set them on a good path? I think that's what the CEO is supposed to do. And if that's what Satya is doing, then that's what he's doing. Now, again, we can all sit there, and if you haven't heard or seen, he had a pretty sizable bonus. And keep in mind, they cut a lot of people under Microsoft in general, not just the gaming division, but Microsoft in general. And he came up with the highest bonus and payroll that he's ever received yet. So that is pretty bad to see. I agree with that there. But at the same time, That's what they do. Keep themselves afloat, make sure the company's still successful and still getting that income. If he's able to secure that kind of a bonus, then they're doing the cuts that they need to do, that they think they need to do, right or wrong. But that's what they're meant to do. Just a news flash for you. They're meant to make money and make more money for themselves. That's what CEOs do. Okay? Do we understand that? Okay, perfect. So, again, on the backs of Windows Central here, we have Cat Magic here. We're going to finalize this video up here because we have so much salt, by the way. So much salt that this has to be broken down into 1 or 2 more videos after this. Now, Cat Magic here. Satya Nadella is an effing clown with zero knowledge of gaming, killing his own platform like that. I don't think Satya has zero knowledge of gaming. I think he does enough research. I'm not saying he's Mr. Gamer to all of us by any means, right? But he's not killing his own. Maybe he's killing his own platform if you want to talk about hardware, I guess. But they're still releasing, to our knowledge, another hardware platform for Xbox. They're doing another generation, right? So apparently you guys out there, no matter what they do, I mean, they've done horrible stuff, and we've gone over this multiple times. They've done horrible stuff over 10 years now, for well over 10 years, making the wrong decisions, this, that, and the other, and you guys still support them no matter what. So is he really killing anything? You guys are upset that you're losing the exclusives, but is it really stopping anything? You're still supporting them. The very next day, you'll take it in stride, and be okay with it, and then find a different narrative to attack competing platforms, especially PlayStation, because you're so upset about it, and that's what you do, but you still continue. Instead of voting with your wallet, instead of voting with something that matters, that would maybe change the aspect, maybe stop supporting Game Pass, so that, unfortunately, may take a back seat, if you will, so you don't get day and dates, you might get better quality, maybe exclusives come back, they try to entice you back to that ecosystem. I don't know, but you probably missed that plane ride. You probably missed that train in regards to do something, because now it is far past it, in my opinion. I don't think anything at this point is going to change the direction or the trajectory in general of what Xbox is heading towards as a gaming division at this point in time. You had your chance to do it. A lot of us who were sane and being, reasonable, using common sense, tried to explain this nicely before everybody went off the deep end and went crazy like they have been doing. This is the results of that. And so it's not that he has zero knowledge of gaming, it's that he's doing what's best for business. And unfortunately, Phil probably went to Satya and said, you know what, this Game Pass idea, I think this is great, this is the future. Satya said, okay, let's do it. This, that, and the other. Here's also a check to get ZeniMax. Here's a check to get ABK. Here's all this stuff, right? And it didn't turn out or pan out the way that Satya thought it would. Well, Satya wants that money. Satya is getting that money by any means necessary. One thing I want to put in context here before we wrap the video up here. I had a conversation with somebody. I didn't want to share it. I didn't want to share the posts. But I had a conversation with somebody recently on social media. And they were talking about how they messed it up and, ABK and this and that. But one thing I wanted to separate from it was, look, when they bought ZeniMax, which was everything under, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Doom, all this stuff, right? The thing is, why they were in such a rush to get ABK is beyond me. They could have taken that check, got the money back towards ZeniMax, capitalize on that, maybe made some good timed exclusive deals, maybe even have timed Call of Duty as an IP or something like that, or really good content from ABK. You didn't need to run out and purchase ABK, one of the most actually, of course, expensive acquisition of all time. Nobody was in a market race to go ahead and purchase ABK. PlayStation was not going to purchase ABK. Google was not going to purchase ABK. Nintendo or Amazon was not going to go out and purchase ABK. There wasn't even rumors of it. The only rumors that were floating around was from just moronic fanboys saying this and that, because acquisitions took a big turn up when ZeniMax was purchased, and that was the word on the street, and rumors surfaced like crazy at that point. But the point is, they made some really bad decisions and continue to make horrible decisions on the Xbox division side, right? They didn't need to get ABK yet. They could have still purchased ABK, but just hold off a few years. And I know inflation's a thing, it costs more, this and that. But just hold up. It still would have went through the same kind of painful process they did with the FTC and so on and so forth. But you didn't need to jump all in right then. Especially if you're going to do that and have the possibility of being a third-party publisher at this point, a third-party company where your games are going on competing platforms. You know, in my opinion, using common sense, I don't think there was any rush to do ABK. They could have done some other deals with Call of Duty and other IPs under ABK, and we could probably see a different story as far as keeping those exclusives to that Xbox ecosystem. Just some food for thought for those out there that maybe haven't thought of that and took a step back. But that being said, we'll wrap up the video here before it gets too long. Like I said, the floodgates have opened and we haven't even gotten to the PS5 Pro yet, folks. This is just a simple comment that most of us already knew from Satya himself. That being said, thank you so much for staying through the entirety of the video. All your support is amazing. We are jumping to sub to sub to sub, so thank you. The next goal being that 2,500 subscriber goal. At the time of this recording, we are basically 100 and some odd subscribers away. So thank you so much. That was my ultimate goal when I started this channel, was just sitting there saying, let's get to 2.5K. Whatever happens after that is fantastic. But that was my goal. Can't believe we're so close. I know we can get there and smash it. So thank you so much. If you haven't already, definitely leave a like, comment down below. That does help out the algorithm, and still love to hear from you all, of course, as usual. So thank you so much there. If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing. It helps out a small content creator like myself. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault Gaming video. And until then, take care.